ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th day of games here in the GGvision Liquid Colosseum with me, Sebastian Sjoberg, and our Gladiator of the week,
Liquid HerO!
Here spawning as the blue Protoss in the lower left starting position of Selnaga Caverns. Blue is very fitting for HerO because he is the freshest and newest member to the Team Liquid team. His opponent is none other than Incredible Miracle Horror. He is of course a member of Incredible Miracle, similar to players like Nesty, who we saw featured on the first day of this Colosseum series on the very same map, meaning that he is a practice partner with none other than the best Zerg player in the world, which makes you, well, pretty good. We'll just have to see what he can do. He does not have a Wiki, and I can't recall having seen too much of him in the GSL, but then again, that's quite a blur, all of the GSL, quite a lot of action going on there, and I'm sure we'll see precisely that in this game. We'll see if it differentiates much from Nesty's way of playing Zerg, which is, well, first of all awesome, second of all very technical and drone oriented, making a minimum amount of attacking units until the opportune moment. Liquid HerO, however, has shown us that he is very prone to aggression, and that he likes to counter Zergs with a lot of Blink Stalkers, being less reliant on Templars and Colossus than many others. Seems here like IM.Horror is gearing up for a fast expansion, no spawning pool or anything ahead of that, so this is a more risky, more economic opening than what we saw from Nesty on day 1 at the same map. Meanwhile, we see Forge and Gateway going down rather than Forge and Cybernetics Core, which isn't unorthodox, but not the most usual opening. This, of course, is reminiscent of the Brood War days with the Forge fast expand, and it will, of course, delay warp gates, stalkers, and all of that. So will this be a more aggressive opening with perhaps cannon support or a quick plus attack upgrade for Liquid HerO? We'll just have to see, but I do like it. This quick economic opening, of course, is very susceptible to quick attack, and here we indeed have it. This is a pylon. This will most yes, it is a pylon, which will be used to build cannons around. Since Cybernetics Core is delayed, he won't have warp gate technology for quite a while. Meanwhile, I only here now do we see the spawning pool being about 75% complete, and the cannons are already in the making, ladies and gentlemen. The Zealot is more than halfway on its way towards this very susceptible, fresh, naked hatchery that will be finishing just now. 3 cannons building so far from Liquid HerO, and he will be able to deploy a few more before the creep spreads. So Liquid HerO saw the opportunity and wanted to claim a quick win, but now he cancels it, cancels all of it only to build 2 more. Is this a better position, or does he feel that had already achieved a wanted result? I question this, but then again, I'm not a pro gamer. Nevertheless, this will now enable the Zealot to be very nice and cushioned against the wall here. Only 1 drone at attack can attack him, or 1 Zergling, and those are very good odds for our Zealot friend. The cannons are now warping in, and it does indeed seem like Liquid HerO wanted to position his cannons in a more advantageous position, and now 3 of them are constructed. Seems like he'll be satisfied with that. This hatchery will no doubt go down. Only now has Zergling Speed started researching, and these cannons will take care of the problem by themselves. These 2 Zealots and 1 Pro will instead try to wreak more havoc inside the base of IM.Horror. Seems like Liquid HerO, true to form, knows that aggression is the best way to defend and the best way forward. These cannons will now prevent any further expansion attempts from IM.Horror until a very late stage in this game, if we ever reach it. Only 1 Zealot remaining, but I must say that Liquid HerO can do a lot with little resources. The probe now going down, so no more cannons for a while, and the Zealot does so also. Looking here at the units lost tab, we do see, yeah, quite nice in favor of Liquid HerO. Zerglings now on the way. We got 6 of them versus only 1 Zealot, but since it's positioned so nicely with 1 cannon as support, there won't be any problems whatsoever for Liquid HerO to hold this. He should not expand right away though. It doesn't have the unit count, and adding nice Cybernetics Core to his arsenal, but I also see a desperation move perhaps from our Zerg player. Where is it? Where is it? There it is, the Baneling nest. We haven't seen this in the series so far, Banelings being deployed, and I would say it's not as common these days as it used to be. And now, in true desperation form, IM.Horror is breaking down the rocks at his gold expansion. He needs all the income he can get, he needs to take risks, he needs to push the envelope, and that he is doing. Baneling nest, that could possibly break this front. As you can see, our liquid hero does not have too much in the way of units. However, he's adding a Stargate, so this will be a 2-gate Stargate opening kind of thing, and that's of course very effective against an already wounded player. With warp gates, he can continue to inflict damage, continue to make him bleed. Sentries now being added. However, these Banelings, that will be the deal breaker. If he can deploy them successfully, he just might be able to break the front, and then Void Rays won't be enough to stop it. Now making sure that nothing too much has changed, or there's any more troop movements. Liquid here now has a small window of time. Chrono boosting out his Void Ray before the Baneling push hits his wall, and right now he won't be able to stop it, but with nice sentries, and he's shown us already how good he is with his sentries, he might be able to defend that successfully. Now checking for overlords. If you can get a free overlord kill, that's always good. And now taking down these cannons and rebuilding his hatchery. But that took quite a lot of investment in terms of Zerglings and in particular time. This Overlord might be able to scout the Void Ray, no matter, the Zergling will do it instead, and now there's no doubt, because he had it on attack move rather than move command. So the Void Ray play is exposed. How will he fare? He's got 2 queens, and if they work together in sync, that should definitely be able to ward away the Void Ray as such. But the Void Ray can always snipe here in the back, and of course it will prevent, he's got 3 queens now, him from effectively using Larva Injection the way he would prefer. Going now for ranged missile attacks and a Roach Warren, so it seems like he hasn't invested too much in the Baneling nest. And now the Void Ray is bearing down on the drones, but with 3 queens it is forced to retreat. And this is perhaps not the most fruitful investment for Liquid HerO so far, but because 3 queens, they can always be used by the Zerg player quite efficiently, whereas 1 Void Ray that hasn't yielded too many enemy kills, that is not a worthwhile investment. Meanwhile, we do see the Nexus being close to finish, 2 more gateways on the way. And over here we see no more Void Rays being built. Now transferring probes and not having initiated any upgrades of its own. Seems like IM.Horror will try to cling to whatever game plan he's got left and transition into roaches, and when he gets his base up he's got quite a few queens to saturate it with, and you can see that's already the case, and now the roaches are underway. Meanwhile, the Void Ray is still hanging out, trying to find a way to poke a hole, having killed 2 units so far. And this will always keep IM.Horror on the guard, and the only way he can prevent this is to be aggressive in return. And I'm sure this Void Ray will continue to be a nuisance for IM.Horror throughout this game. This won't supply block him, but nevertheless, whatever hurt you can inflict with a Void Ray is lack of focus for the Zerg player. Now moving out off creep with 4 queens, and with no roach support right now, this perhaps less than ideal. But it seems like IM.Horror is intent on winning this game here and now, and he will do a deadly timing push. As you can see, there are no Banelings in this army, only roaches, and they of course have their 1 missile attack upgrade finished by now. Meanwhile, we have 7 sentries, that's a lot of force fields, 3 stalkers and 2 zealots, more to be walked in shortly. And almost finished with his own attack upgrade as well, so now it's time to show us all IM.Horror what you can do with limited resources. Beautiful force field, shutting them out, and now bearing down on the probes, but nevertheless I must say that IM.Horror is not in the ideal situation. These queens are only now connecting, and sure, they are transfusing the health on those roaches, but sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen, the force fields are simply shutting them out, and the cannon, sentries and stalkers can easily defend behind them, bearing down on 1 gateway now and killing pylons as well. There are still quite a few roaches in this army, and only now finishing the attack upgrade that will bolster the Liquid HerO forces, but continuing to reinforce. You can see Zerglings now bearing down from the north, but the force fields, there are still plenty, and he's still holding. The transfusions, however, proving pivotal for IM.Horror, continuing to keep his units alive. And now is the question, can the Zerglings inflict the extra damage? One beautiful force field down here, preventing them from connecting, and I must say, it looks like Liquid HerO has successfully defended. He has sacrificed all of his economy, IM.Horror. There are no more queens left, and you can see that the reinforcements are no longer coming down from his base in the north. Liquid HerO has most probably won this game, ladies and gentlemen, and I must say, for successfully defending upon having inflicted so much damage in the early game. It should be a walk in the park, but I've said that before, and we have seen disadvantages turn into advantages more than once. But Liquid HerO is a smart player, knowing that if he just waits a while, he can extend his advantage and claim a win later. We see now Blink being upgraded for him, whereas a macro hatcher being constructed here in the base for IM.Horror. Constructing spine crawlers, he knows that the inevitable counter push isn't far away and that he needs to defend. He's still got a good economy, and they're both now crashing down on their own rocks in order to expand once again. But it seems like Liquid HerO is indeed ahead of that, and will be finished with his Blink upgrades very soon, and that will make his forces so much more versatile. He can now become the true aggressor, bolstering his army with further stalkers. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen. We see Lair being halfway done, but that is not enough. We now see Zerglings bearing down, and they might be able to kill quite a few probes. Probes locking in the Zerglings, taking a few casualties in the process, but nevertheless Liquid HerO manages to stop it, though he was forced to retreat and losing quite a few probes, I must say. Nevertheless, a semi-successful attack by IM.Horror, inflicting a few probe losses and forcing this quite formidable death ball, 105 supply of Protoss forces to retreat, and that will give him time to bolster his forces and improve his own defenses. Looking at the Unitat, 17 roaches with 1 missile attack upgrade versus 17 stalkers with the same upgrade and 6 sentries. This is the deal breaker, ladies and gentlemen. I must say Liquid HerO is in a good position. However, the defender always has that advantage, and 3 spine crawlers are not to be trifled with. Another expansion meanwhile going down. You can follow what happens with the Zergling attack on the picture-in-picture screen as the battle here unfolds. Beautiful force fields once again, showing that he truly is a Protoss player, knows how to utilize them to the max. Locking in the roaches, using Guardian Shield to minimize the damage, and now the spine crawlers are forced to move out, but it's too little too late, ladies and gentlemen. The roach forces are all but crumbled, and now Liquid HerO was able to punish these building spine crawlers, take down the assimilator, most probably kill the hatchery as well, having successfully deployed his own third expansion. Liquid HerO is looking good, ladies and gentlemen, and IM.Horror is now repositioning himself for a last desperate attack, meanwhile losing drones, and we still got a very mighty Blink Stalker force now getting reinforced from the south, and I must say it's well, that's GG. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a very fierce PvC, and once again we see that this is one of Liquid HerO's best matchups. He truly knows how to utilize his Protoss arsenal to the very best, and as you're watching this with MLG Rally in mind, I'm sure you can reminisce about some of the games that I'm sure will reach the final, where you can see his skills utilized to the max. I'm so thrilled to be having Liquid HerO featured here in the GGvision Liquid Colosseum, now that we can truly get to know this new member of the Liquid team and see what he can do on the international stage. Stay tuned for day 5 here in the Colosseum, where Liquid HerO will face another notable opponent from the Asian server. I'm Sebastian Sjoberg, thanks for watching, GG and out.
Adjutant online. Registered. Hostile